Right now at 6, dozens of people stuck upside down nearly 100 feet in the air.
They've been stuck up here for 5 minutes. The machine is stuck.
The latest from Oaks Park and how everyone made it down. Plus, what newly released body cam video reveals about a man with a dog near the Vancouver waterfront, who moments later, an officer shot dead.
Shots fired, Start medical code 3.
Then, why are some high school seniors heading off to serve their country banned from showing their military pride at graduation?
And the families and the kids deserve to be able to be honored and appreciated and show what they've done.
And later, an aquatic mystery.
The lengths are kind of pretty steady from 1980 till around 2000, and then there's a sharp decline.
With questions on the Oregon coast around what's causing gray whales to shrink.
Oaks Park had to shut down because
there were ambulance and fire trucks everywhere. That'd be horrible.
Yeah,
like I couldn't imagine all the blood going to my brain.
Good evening, everyone. We begin at 6 with breaking news and a terrifying incident at Oaks Park where a thrill ride known as the Atmosphere, that's F-E-A-R, decided to live up to its name with dozens of people stuck hanging upside down 100 feet in the air. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm David Molko. Let's go right to Evan Watson live in Southeast Portland with the very latest. Evan.
Well, David, thankfully, Portland Fire and Rescue says there are no indications of injuries at this time for the 28 people who were on this ride. Oaks Park telling us just moments ago that one person was taken to the hospital, but that was a cautionary measure as this person had pre-existing conditions. But still, that doesn't mean that this experience wasn't harrowing for the people who went through it. Stuck upside down for about 25 minutes, high up in the air, looking out at everything below. This was at Oaks Amusement Park this afternoon. The park is now closed. We're talking about the Atmosphere ride, F-E-A-R, this black and blue pendulum that swings from side to side. It is intended to stop upside down, but only momentarily before swinging back to its resting position for the next group of riders. It failed to do that today. A day where a lot of students and teenagers came to the park to celebrate the end of year, the graduations, and the start of summer. We talked with 2 of them who were on this ride as it got stuck upside down. They say it was their first ride of the day, and when they realized what was happening, it felt truly terrifying.
And that position is just so uncomfortable physically too. Like 25 minutes, my entire waist below was asleep. Like he told me, he was like, you have to hold your legs back. It was so hard. I definitely have a different outlook on life now. Upside down, hundreds of feet in the air. The only thing I could think is I'm never gonna hug my dad and my brother again.
They watched fire crews arrive, watched the park close, and heard people around them praying or sharing what they thought could be their final thoughts before, thankfully, the ride was returned to its regular position and Portland Fire and Rescue helped evacuate everyone off that ride. For context, this is a still frame that we have from video posted on the Oaks Park website that offers a point of view of what being on the ride would look like in that position. Now, of course, everyone wants to know, how did this happen, right? Well, we know Portland Fire and Rescue trains for situations just like this, and they've trained on this ride here before. And we have a statement I just received moments ago from Oaks Park, and I want to read that out to you verbatim. They said that the Atmosphere ride's been working since 2021, and quote, the ride will remain closed until further notice. Oaks Park management was in immediate contact with the manufacturer and will work with both the manufacturer and state inspectors to identify the cause of the stoppage. So as of now, they don't know why this happened today, but the park is closed and a lot of people still reeling from this harrowing experience. David?
Yeah, 25 people, 25 minutes, 28 people rather, 25 minutes, stuck 10 stories in the air looking down and just wondering. Evan, just glad everyone's okay. Evan Watson with the breaking news there.
We're stopped at Columbia Way in Columbia. He's just flipping us off, walking away.
Well, tonight, newly released videos giving us a clearer picture of what happened this past weekend when Vancouver police shot and killed a man near the waterfront. Investigative reporter Kyle LeBoche is here with a look at what led up to this shooting. Kyle.
First, we should warn our viewers, this video is graphic, but it's important. It shows the moments before and after a Vancouver police officer shot and killed a man. The video from police dash and body cams shows Vancouver police responding Saturday afternoon. They'd been called to an area near Vancouver's waterfront, close to the interstate bridge. Someone reported that a man was letting his German Shepherd run loose. The dog had already bitten one person, and the man appeared to have a gun, according to investigators. As police drove up, the video shows the man point what appears to be a handgun at one of the officers and his patrol vehicle, then throws it into the street. Police haven't said if the man's gun was real or replica. The officer fired 4 times. Here's the body cam video. We paused the video right there because it's too graphic. It shows the man fall to the ground. As officers approached the man to provide help, the dog got aggressive and tried to bite them. Officers used less than lethal round to get the dog to move away. The man, later identified as 43-year-old Vadim Shashchenko, died at the scene. His dog was taken to the Humane Society. The Vancouver officer who fired Brandon Rydell is on leave during the investigation, which is standard procedure. So is the other officer who witnessed the shooting. Previous reporting shows Officer Rydell has been involved in 2 prior fatal shootings. He's been with Vancouver police since 2018.
Well, thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you walking us through the video there. In your headlines now, it's been a deadly 24 hours on Portland streets with 4 traffic fatalities in 3 separate crashes. The first was around 8 last night when a motorcycle with 2 people on board hit a barrier on a connector ramp from the Morrison Bridge to northbound I-5. Police say both riders were thrown over the edge and died after landing in a parking lot below. Then this morning, a person was killed when they were hit by a car on Interstate 84. This was just after 4:30 near I-205. Eastbound 84 was closed for several hours during the morning drive. And then around noon, a motorcyclist died after colliding with a pickup at Southeast 82nd and Mitchell. This means there have now been 27 traffic fatalities in the Rose City so far this year. A Multnomah County judge has convicted a man of killing a woman at a party in a hotel room near the airport. This was in 2023 at the Embassy Suites. 33-year-old Raymond Lawrence was found guilty of shooting and killing Tayon Janique Hudson Howard. The Oregonian reports the suspect's date was dancing with the victim, and that sparked a fight that ended with the suspect shooting her. Prosecutors say an ensuing gun battle broke out in the hotel hallway, leaving a security guard wounded and a teenager dead. No charges have been filed in that case. And while public pools across Portland are set to open next Thursday, it looks like kids in the Montavilla neighborhood will have to wait until late July. The pool closed last August after a young girl was found unresponsive in the water and later died. A lengthy safety review delayed some upgrades, including to a drain cover. Contractors tell the Montavilla News they expect to finish work by July 22nd. Families who registered for classes can participate at the East Portland Community Center or receive a refund. Ashley?
Well, happy Friday. We're heading into Father's Day weekend. Here's a live look outside right now over Portland. You'll notice those clouds coming in, and we're only going to be seeing more clouds this weekend, although it's not too cold outside right now. We're looking at 72 degrees in the metro area. We're going to see that cool down start to happen in the next several hours here. We're also going to see some rain start to make its way into the Willamette Valley. We've already seen some of that rain out at the coast. Here's a live look at Cannon Beach, Haystack Rock. You can see kind of that thick cloud cover behind it, some drizzle out there, but there's already some folks out enjoying the weekend. This rain not stopping them, although dads, it's not a complete washout. You can still get outside tomorrow. Here's a little bit of that radar. Some of those showers we've already seen making their way into the Olympic Peninsula and into Seattle. This is going to be the story here for the next 2 days. We'll talk more about that and your 7-day forecast coming up. David?
Thanks, Ashley. See you in a few. Developing this evening, some parents in Troutdale say they are outraged after their high school banned students from wearing military stoles over their graduation robes as they received their diplomas. Sydney Dorner's in the newsroom. So, Sydney, what is the district saying about this decision?
Yeah, David, I spoke to Reynolds School District in Troutdale, who said they don't allow any post-high school stoles, including military and college stoles at graduation. Now, they did not expand on exactly why, but did say they allow students to wear representative stoles at other senior events. Today, we talked with one mom who says this rule ruined her son's moment. Walking across the stage is especially important to high schoolers from the class of 2024 who spent their core years dealing with the global pandemic. Angel Lopez Lane just graduated from Reynolds High School this Thursday. Deciding to enlist in the Marines, he was excited to wear his stole for the ceremony. But his joy was cut short just minutes before his walk when Reynolds staff told him that isn't allowed.
It was just, hey, you can't wear that. We need to have you put it in the bag. What's your student ID and your initials? I was like, oh, okay. Weird.
Angel immediately texted his mom, who was fuming at the school's decision.
This is not okay. There's several kids in your class that have signed up, given their life to the military. Like, that's what happens. And the families and the kids deserve to be able to be honored and appreciated and show what they've done.
We reached out to the Reynolds School District, who told us in part, quote, Reynolds High School doesn't allow any post-high school stoles, including military and college stoles at graduation. We do allow students to have cultural stoles at graduation. Students have the opportunity to wear their post-high school representative stoles, whether military or college, at other senior events at the end of the school year. Lane and her son say they hope this rule will change for future graduates, especially since they believe the district has not provided any reasoning behind the ban.
I just wish that they would be grateful and appreciative and feel somewhat accomplished that their students want to go and serve the country.
Now, we reached out to Portland Public Schools and the Beaverton School District, who said they do not have similar policies. David, back to you.
Thank you, Sydney. Well, health officials say commercial harvesting for oysters can now resume. That's after harvests of most shellfish were put on pause on the Oregon and Washington coasts late last month. Thomas Schultz has the update now from Tillamook County.
Finally, after business halted weeks ago, Oregon oyster harvesters can return to bays and harvest the shellfish. Now, on May 26, harvesters paused because of toxins in the shellfish, and that's been hard for businesses not only on the coast, but in Portland too. Take a look around the Rose City, and you don't have to look far for oysters.
We've been in the oyster business for 117 years.
Some of which are harvested on the Oregon coast. Though since May 26, harvesting has been paused for oysters, clams, and mussels due to a rise in toxins.
When we tested product, we found that it was over the FDA's safety threshold limit. And
Alex Manderson is a shellfish specialist with the Oregon Department of Agriculture. He says recently around 30 people got shellfish poisoning after gathering mussels. Soon after, operations shut down commercially for mussels, clams, and oysters.
That's like the first time I'm aware that it's happened in Oregon.
On June 5th, the FDA advised restaurants around the country to not serve these shellfish from Oregon and parts of Washington, impacting restaurants like Flying Fish in southeast Portland.
So we just stopped purchasing oysters from those areas.
And halting business for oyster farmers on the coast and restaurants which only serve Oregon shellfish.
That's very rough.
Tamara Perman owns Jandy Oyster Company in Tillamook.
What's the financial impact there for you guys?
Significant.
Though Friday morning, toxin levels for oysters diminished enough to harvest. And hours after the announcement, boatloads of oysters were hauled in for the first time in weeks, just in time for a special day.
Tomorrow is Oyster Fest.
And that's a big event on the Oregon coast. And not only are oysters safe to harvest, razor clams in northern Oregon are too, though officials say it's still too early to harvest bay clams or mussels. In Netarts Bay, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
At least they know those oysters are going to be super fresh tomorrow. Well, straight ahead at 6, the strange case of the shrinking whales. Why researchers say what they're noticing could actually lead to larger issues. And coming up at 6:30, Oregon lawmakers press the leader of the employment department over lingering issues with its new claim system. That follow-up ahead at 6:30 on The Story, only here on KGW.